name's Marco Maestranzi, and yeah, that's my car. Her name is Ruby. She's a 98 CRV. She's just a big, funny joke. She's a fun car to drive. I fell in love with them. I don't know why, to be honest. Maybe it's because of the difference. Maybe it's because they're cheap on insurance. I bought this in particular one in 2014, January, for $500. I found it, and I just kind of dusted her off, picked her up, and haven't looked back. Played around with a bunch of different parts, had no exhaust, struts were blown. It was actually a junk car, and I ended up buying some cheap coilovers for it, Yonaka's. Went to a local shop, got some exhaust work done, and slammed her low on Type Rs and drove around and scraped the shit out of it. And then slowly but surely, just started getting some serious parts for it. I originally bought it just to have fun with it. I'm the second owner of it. The original owner is an old, I believe, German lady, to be honest. It originally started just as a joke, as a fun car to have some fun, make some people smile, piss off some people, actually. And it turned into something I never really thought it would be, to be honest. Brought some parts over from Japan, like the front and rear end. Got some performance parts done, like cross-shield slotted brakes, a couple bolt-ons, same stock non-VTEC V20 engine, same rusty chassis. From there on, I just kind of painted it, did little things here and there in my driveway, and went on from there. 2 years ago, I decided to kind of go all in with it, since it was a stance build, for now at least, since the engine's very slow. The car is slow, but it's fun to drive. It's a slow car fast. Decided to go in with the Airlift Autopilot V2 and K-Sport air suspension. Unfortunately, it was a little tough to find parts to fit that thing because they don't really make air suspension for the CRV, at least back then they don't. Now, I think a company called Trueheart makes a bolt-on kit. It ended up being K-Sport air struts off an EK in the front and K-Sport air struts off a O2 Accord in the rear. Works out pretty good, actually. I'm surprised how well it rides. It's stiff yet comfortable, it's responsive, it handles very well. I let a good friend of mine, Jaleel, drive the car, and his first thing going around a corner was, "Why does this handle like this?" Decided to give it a paint job, painted army green, and since the engine's still really good, the transmission's still really good, I just decided to do some cosmetics. So engine bay, I kind of went to town with it as best I could, again, on the cheap and dirty. Painted it black, some intake work, and then in the interior, I just did like Momo Monte Carlo racing wheel, Accord Euro R racing seats by Recaro. So I just went online one day, I saw this product called Plastidip. Honestly, I used it a couple times for some trims and stuff. You can buy the gun for pretty cheap. It honestly turned out pretty well. I'm surprised. It was only like $300 to do the whole car. And the wheels is the most probably asked about. Their work Euroline type ends. They're actually date stamped 1999, which literally means they're a year younger than my car. Period correctness. I never thought it was a big thing back when I got them, but I guess people think it's a good thing now. Drivetrain was interesting, seeing how the whole thing is still stock. The engine, transmission, everything is stock. Like, it's an open diff. If I do a burnout, which a CRV doing a burnout is pretty fun anyways, but if I do a burnout, you'll see a one-wheel peel. But I did get rid of the all-wheel drive system just for the simple fact that I didn't want to ruin the drive shaft whenever I would air out. What got me in the cars, geez, I was always in the cars. Ever since I can remember, I was always in the cars. Always at my Nona's house, playing with my Hot Wheels. Even when I got my PlayStation 2, my PlayStation 1, Gran Turismo was like the first thing I got, and that was the shit back then. Even where I live, like I live near Yorkdale, and just hearing like all the Camaros and Hondas and everything fly up the 400 and the 401, fun times. Definitely so, but yeah, that's essentially what got me into cars. And Hondas in particular, I'll be honest, I was really a European fanboy back in the day, but you know, times change, you gotta think realistic, and essentially, you really just get an appreciation for anything, whether they have a Euro badge, a Japanese badge, a Korean badge, it doesn't really matter. You just, if it's cool and, you know, you vibe with it, you just enjoy it, it doesn't really matter. As much as I don't like to admit it, apparently my car's a big thing. I didn't really realize it, but yeah, a lot of people do know my car. I kind of feel like a superhero, as weird as it sounds. No one knows who I am, but yeah, when I jump in the car, everyone knows the car, which is awesome. I love it.
How's it going, everybody? Today we're in a 1998 Honda CRV, and it's bagged. So let me just, I never used bag systems before, but let's try this. Oh, fuck. Fuck. How's it going, everybody? Today we're in a 1998 Honda CRV. I have seen a few in the United States, actually, all over Instagram. The CRV game's been kind of going a little hard lately. A lot of companies have started to create coilovers and aftermarket parts for this. So a lot of guys are stancing these things out. The CRV is one of a kind, you know, it's a little weird vibe I get in here. Like, it's a fun vibe. It's one of those cars that, it's not the fastest thing out there, obviously. Like, he's got this racing harness and everything, racing seat. But the car's it's not a race car. It's kind of just for shits and giggles, you know? And it does a really good job. Like, even being in the passenger seat, being in the driver's seat. Hold on, we're gonna hit this bend. There's so much body roll. But it's a lot better than the stock CRV because of the bags. We actually have it set somewhere around the middle. And because the car is such a high car, the drop on these bags are so significant. When I was in the car, like, I did not expect the bags. I was expecting like a cup system or something, but when he dropped the car down when I was in here, this thing drops. And like the wheels kind of tuck too, which is pretty cool actually. So Marco, whenever he pulls up into these car meets, it's already breaking necks because people are like, oh shit, it's the built CRV. Like, someone stanced out a CRV. And then he'd air out and boom, like everyone's surrounding him, asking him questions to air it out, air it in. The exterior also has this nice little camel green paint job done to it, so it's a safari vibe in here. I'm not supposed to be up this high. I'm sitting on a clutch plate and a bunch of blankets to put me up this high because the original seating position, because these seats are racing seats, I believe they're from the Euro R Accord. So when I initially sat in this car, I couldn't really see over the steering wheel. And the thing with CRVs too, you can't really bring the steering wheel straight. So the steering position is also really weird as well. But once again, it's a CRV. It's not meant to be raced. It's just a commuter car, right? So like this positioning of the steering wheel is a really awkward feeling. It's very school bus-like, and for this theme, it works really well. When you beat this motor up, it has a little, has the B20 Honda engine, the non-V-Tech B20. It's hilarious. It's just so funny. Okay, we're up on a hill. I'm gonna drop in a second because this car has very bad low-end torque. And she's struggling to get up right now. Everything about this car just says, for some reason, it's so weird because it's a Honda. It's like an army vehicle. The camel paint job. There's a grenade as the shift knob. The throws are just nice long throws. Usually in a sports car, you'd want something notchy, but something like this, you want that nice dramatic throw. He's actually got the wiper delete where the wiper actually sits across the window. And it just works so well with this build. So Marco actually used to be static before he was bagged. Yanaka actually makes coilovers for these. So Marco actually said that the Yanakas didn't come with adjustable dampening. So when he went from that suspension setup to the bags, he said it was just night and day. It's such a nice environment, and this car suits Marco so much. Marco's a really happy, cheerful guy, and his personality is very transparent through this car. You know, if you look on the outside, it's got a bunch of stickers. It's just so creative and so different. And that's what I really love about these builds as well. Like, I love reviewing builds that not the regular person thinks of or does. Or even like a build that is very casual and a lot of people do know of. For example, like a Civic. If the build is different, like, then by all means, like, I'm all about it. Normally in these hairpins, I'd want something tight, stiff, and gluey, so I can really feel the car out, but it just comes to tell you that you can enjoy these roads with completely different vibes. And the induction noise. Let's talk about the induction noise. So where VTEC's supposed to be in these motors, so after 5200 RPM, there's a nice little whistle. Almost sounds like a turbo, but it's not a turbo. It's just from the intake. The exhaust is it's very subtle. This CRV was actually straight pipe prior to this review, but he's quieted it down because, like anybody who goes straight pipe, they love it, and then after they start dailying it and over time, I love it. It's a nice little toy that you can go semi off-roading, nothing hardcore obviously, like just like dirt trails or whatever. Okay, let's just do a pull. We'll go from first gear. Holy shit, yo, that was so sketchy. I was getting torque steer in this. I see why Marco's such a happy guy. You know what? Earlier today, I drove up Planet BRZ and I felt so connected. You can actually see that video. It's our last week's video. I'll put a link to it right up here. So coming from that BRZ to this, oh man, like I was so serious in the BRZ, and then this thing's just making me smile, and you know, that's what it's about. You just get like a different outlook of life from this driver's seat, you know, like you're just spreading positivity, you know, and we need more of that in this world. And the great thing about this car is you can still daily drive it. It's still a very comfortable car. The bags, they're still really soft. Fifth gear is super long as well, so you can just kind of keep it in fifth gear, and it's just quiet. It just quiets down, and you can just kind of cruise, and it's just a regular CRV at that point. Alright boys and girls, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and share this video because that really helps. And let me know what you guys think about this build. Would you guys put bags on a CRV, or would you guys keep it static, or would you guys just not even build a CRV? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also guys, you guys can follow up on Marco's build. I'll put a link down in the description below. And also guys, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube account because I drop a car review every single Sunday from the Toronto area. So if you or somebody else you know who lives in Toronto who have a dope car, also feel free to message me and I'll get your car on the channel as well, you know? Just message me on my Instagram, it's heaven.cayman. All the links will be down below. And be good kids, guys. Take it easy. Thank you.